The AnyDay.com podcasts. Energy is a great story. The other half of Texas, the city of Austin, between technological innovation and hipsters. From the article by Mattia Ferraisi on AnyDay.com.
When I was a child, still going to school, I remember when my teacher prepared a lesson about Christopher Columbus. He thought he was going to discover India and instead made the greatest discovery in the world, he explained, raising his arms and pointing over our shoulders to a well-worn map covered by territories in thousands of colors. Had I known that it wasn't just the colors that distinguished those places from each other, but it's America, guys. There isn't one, but 1,000. Take it or leave it. The land of plenty, but also of the most inexplicable meanness. Of contradiction, of beauty and of solitude, of controversy, of talent and of business. I would go on because there would be a million things to tell you about this bizarre corner of the world. I think America has 3 gods. Madonna, marshmallows,
Marshmallow, for you.
and oil. I haven't got much to say about Madonna. Marlene Dietrich has already done it before me. She hasn't got a voice, but she's got all the rest. About marshmallows, even less. Ask the guy who pumped my stomach only a few hours ago. On the other hand, I can tell you a lot about oil. The great dream of rural America has followed its path, chasing progress. A progress that comes in the form of cash and ideals. I already feel it in this godforsaken spit of land. If you haven't already guessed, we're in North Dakota.
You are now arrived in North Dakota.
Barely 700,000 souls, different forms of solitude, and lots and lots of oil. Holy cow, it's brass monkey weather. Here in North Dakota, they could dress their macaroni with oil. If they only knew how to cook it, obviously.
Oil drilling boom in North Dakota. The New York Times has already defined it the luckiest place on earth. They were extracting oil here until the end of the 80s, then the recession, when the traditional wells left dry, until 2008, when technological innovation allowed so-called fracking, a technique to free gas and oil trapped in clay-rich schist, shale oil.
Here we go. After the discovery, in 2012 alone, the state's production exceeded 1 million barrels. And gold fever became contagious. Black gold, that is. At Williston, in the Bakken region, you don't need much to become infected. The economy is doing so well that every profession earns twice the national average. They extract so much oil that there are even more jobs than people, and youngsters arrive in droves from all over the country, attracted by a dream that is no longer just a dream, one that has changed the face of a state that before was famous only for beef, the Coen brothers Fargo, and the Dakota Native Americans. Hi-ya, 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 hi-ya. In any case, the state is only, if you can say only, the nation's second largest oil producer. First place is held by another that knew how to tie its culture to the economy coming from the revenues of black gold and its extraction. I think you already know we're talking about Texas. I don't know about you, but I've had enough of North Dakota. Being blanketed by snow has really annoyed me. And then, besides the oil and those that extract it, there is absolutely nothing to do here. If you don't mind, I'm going to Texas. I can already hear the call of my favorite ranger, Tex Willer, the gunfighter with impeccable aim, fighting for justice on the immense southern prairies.
Those Chantanassi almost sent us to hell, but we gave them a good run for their money.
I can even follow the path of oil there, and they also tell me that there's a great atmosphere. What's more, I confess I've always been a fan of Dallas, to each the guilty pleasures they deserve. Enough, it's time to go, with an internal flight, obviously. At least this old crate can get me to Wyoming. I only need to set foot in Austin, the state's capital, for a single, very brief instant, and I immediately realize that this place is in the know. You immediately realize that we're in a city driven by a dynamic spirit, in every sense. You only have to go for a walk. People are alive, dynamic and open. It's as if the traditional spirit of Texas, of the double P, pioneer and petroleum, has merged with a modern one of progress and freedom. A bit like what used to happen during the concerts of Willie Nelson, who is a household name in Texas. In the 60s, during his performances with the legendary Waylon Jennings, he managed to bring together hippies and cowboys thanks to outlaw country, a genre that broke the mold and united rodeo and rock and roll. A miracle on the Mexican border.
We were sort of unconventional, I guess, and, you know, they put the label outlaw on us for doing it, and I wear it as a badge. I kind of enjoy it.
Old Willie, you know a thing or two. Anyway, Austin is a melting pot of trends and innovation, a city that regards the past with a touch of ridicule and loves the present. Above all, it is a true hotbed of creativity, even from the point of view of energy and the relationship with oil. You come here expecting to find petrol pumps on every street corner, but it isn't like that. Here, energy is promoted thanks to technology. During recent years, there have been numerous startups in Austin dedicated to the optimization of the energy industry. An important factor, above all when the price of crude is falling and the rest of the world is crying. Here, on the other hand, young companies are springing up like mushrooms, pushing the oil and gas sector to make quick decisions, thanks to software able to reduce oil extraction times and costs. There is one among these energy newcomers that has really made an impression. It's called Oil Patch Pro. And basically, it is an app that maps the oil fields and wells over the whole of Texas, with the detail and information that was previously difficult to consult on the rarely updated state databases that were almost never up to company standards. As a result, they can better speed up times, avoiding the chit-chat, the misunderstandings, and the continuous research of teams spread throughout the state.
Your destination is Austin, Texas.
These companies, like MineralSoft for example, help the sector to plan its strategies and calmly move in a field that seemed out of touch with technology. The gold you imagine, managed by tycoons with waistcoat and leather boots, sipping brandy on a patio in the middle of nowhere. At Austin, however, these stereotypes don't fit well. Its double spirit has gained the upper hand, taking a decisive direction towards progress. In fact, these companies are founded thanks to the technological ferment that has hit the city in recent decades. During the 90s, the government of the Stars and Stripes chose Austin as the location for a national microtech consortium, MCC, being at risk of collapse in the microchip sector, and another, Sematech, for semiconductors, a field in which there was a fear of competition from the terrible Japan. In every event, the Texas of Sue Ellen and JR, with its oil-rich spirit, has willingly welcomed these new arrivals. Technological innovation has become the fundamental instrument in reinventing the energy sector, which now, more than ever, is based on a compendium of data, analyses, mathematical models, and computer facilities by now associated with the identity of Austin. Basically, the times of Giant are long gone. Glorious times in which James Dean scampered over the lands of a state covered with oil.
Fine.
James, don't laugh. It's like that. Oil is not like it once was. The world changes. Progress has its say, and the old oil industry now goes arm in arm with the digital revolution, the new trends as regards tradition. In other words, have you been round Austin today? There are so many beards that it's like being in Kabul. Oh yes, the hipster fashion is law in Texas. Spectacles and beard are what you want if you want to be cool. It's true, hipsters can be found everywhere, but between an artisan beer and a William Humphrey novel, the Texan ones are a law unto themselves. And then, why is it so important to be hipster? Is it so difficult that you need a handbook, a vademecum, like that written by Camilla Serna Giotto? Hipster Dixit? Manual to become a hipster with a moustache?
The two key words are nonconformist and vade retro mainstream. In an era dominated by mass products, a group of individuals, the anti-litterum hipsters, preferred to carve out a niche at a consumer, cultural, social, and even aesthetic level. Let's say that the American hipsters love the good life, and that it's the good life in its every sense. You can say new 2.0 dandies of contemporary aesthetics. They listen to indie rock music, SNF literature, produced by alternative circuits. Therefore, in every field, they prefer to dedicate themselves to and appropriate something that is not of the masses.
So the hipsters in today's Austin represent an important part of the city's fabric. That same Austin that always came after Dallas and Houston, and that today has managed to carve itself a prominent place among the most stimulating towns in which to live. This is also thanks to technological progress, and it is to the latter and all the new trends in music and visual arts that Austin dedicates the South by Southwest Festival, that every year, for the last 30, has imposed itself as an essential event for the innovation culture. When you go to Austin, you mustn't feel at home. You must experience an exceptional place with a wealth of colour and suggestion, scorched by the sun and a love for arts, technology and freedom. Here, you can be whomever you want. You can sport a beard or shave yourself like Yul Brynner, sing on the street or never say a word. No one will judge you if you're happy to do it. And in the meantime, in front of you, there rises into the air a colony of bats. Yes, you understood well, the flying mice. You see them fly from Mexico, from the border, and arrive to feed on insects towards Congress Avenue Bridge, under the pillars. You can find thousands and thousands, the largest colony in the world, 1.5 million. And when they suggested increasing the lights on the bridge, for safety reasons, nothing else, Austin said no, the bats would fly away. For the rest of Texas, for the United States and the entire universe, all this would be absurd, paradoxical, over the top. But at Austin, the city of creativity and technology, following the path of reinvented and modern oil, conformism isn't at home. Here, where every day 110 people move, attracted by this avant-garde metropolitan beauty spot, it doesn't matter if you're a hipster or a bat. You must make your contribution. Visionary and free. The marvelous journey of Eni in the world of energy carries on until we see you next time. Because energy is a great story.
You have been listening to Anyday.com's podcast. Energy is a great story. Script by Giuseppe Patanu Radusa. Music by New Horizon Project. Produced and adapted for radio by Cast 4. Download the complete collection from the site anyday.com.